Michelle, I want to start with the GOP's lack of an investment in policies that actually improve the lives of family. An article from Slate frames it this way, quote, a remotely humane pro-life movement wouldn't demand that kids be born into economic misery. Instead, they'd back policies that support parents and their children once they're out of the womb. In other words, it might support something like Biden's agenda. These are all policies that would make it easier to help single moms raise children and could theoretically make a post-Roe world less financially nightmarish for families. But they run afoul of the GOP's opposition to social spending by the government and thus face across-the-board opposition from conservatives. Michelle, what are the consequences of banning abortions but then doing nothing to support or address measures to actually help children and families?
First, thank you for having me on your show this evening. I think Vice President Kamala Harris put it quite well. The United States leads the developed world and beyond that in terms of maternal mortality. And the most glaring rate of maternal death take place in the states with the most abortion bans, the most targeted regulations against abortion providers, otherwise known as trap laws. And though it seems that people have been shy about naming it for what it really is, many of these consequences are life and death. So even if we weren't talking about abortion bans, a person is 14 times more likely to die by carrying a pregnancy to term than by having an abortion. Abortions are very safe, one of the safest procedures a person can have. And so when these restrictions are papered over again and again, what we see are the increased risks to maternal health and safety. And we don't see the states enacting legislation or with doing proceeding in procedural ways that would help to enhance maternal safety. And as well, it's worth noting that infant mortality is also glaring and alarming in those states. Let me just give you this one statistic that comes from the Central Intelligence Agency. They noted on their website. So this isn't just Professor Goodwin, this is the CIA, which notes that the United States ranks below 50th in the world in terms of maternal health and safety. And we have to keep that figure in mind because then it's not just being behind England, Germany, France, Italy, et cetera. It means being behind Bosnia and Saudi Arabia in terms of keeping people alive during their pregnancies. That's how the United States is doing. And it's even more glaring in the states like Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. And we'll talk about race, too.
Yeah,